As you obviously know, if you're watching this video immediately when it comes out, it's October of 2025 now. Of course, if you're watching this some other time, you're still welcome to watch it, but for those who are watching it in the present, that means it's time for some spooky October Halloween reading. And just in time, I have received this wonderful package from the Nightworms people. Well, as I said at the start, it is October 2025. We are in the midst of the spooky October Halloween or pre-Halloween season. We're carving the jack-o'-lanterns, we're setting up the decorations, we are watching the horror movies, and of course, as we're talking about today, we're reading the horror novels. And so it's wonderful that just in time for the second half of this October season, I have received this wonderful care package from the Nightworms people, which is the horror book subscription service that every month sends us one of these packages with 2 horror novels and some other goodies. If you're new to this channel, one of the things I like to do, as I'm about to do right now, is to open these up live to camera and discover, I have no idea what's in it, I'm going to discover at the same time as I share with y'all whatever might be inside. There's usually some good stuff, we talk about it a little bit, and hopefully that piques your interest enough that maybe you want to check out one of these books for yourself. And if that's the case, I'll have purchase links for you right down there in the What's It. You can check those out there using my purchase links, and that supports my work here on this channel as well, which is very much appreciated. It would also, of course, be very much appreciated if you would do the YouTube things, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment down there, click the thumbs up, tell a friend, ring that notifications bell. All of those kinds of things really are quite helpful to help me grow my audience here, which helps me stay in business, frankly. So all of that is very much appreciated. But without further ado, I've got this package opened. Let's see what wonderful books and other goodies we have received this October from the Nightworms people. The first item to come out is this pouch of extra goodies. These are all the non-book, non-literary things. I'll get to that at the end of the video. The first book to come out is called Fiend by Alma Katsu, who I have read before. She's known for The Hunger, The Deep, and I can't remember if it was Fervor or The Fervor, but she's known for several books that have been very well received. I've read and enjoyed her work before. I do not know this book. I've not read it. I was aware that this book was coming out, but I know nothing about it. I don't know the plot. I don't know the premise. So, as we do in these videos, let's read this description flap and see what we are actually in for. It says, the Berisha family runs one of the largest import-export companies in the world, and they've always been lucky. Cannot relate to that. I've never been particularly lucky, but I can cheer for and admire people who have been. Anyway, it carries on to say, their rivals suffer strokes, inconvenient buildings catch on fire, earthquakes swallow up manufacturing plants, destroying harmful evidence. Oh, I see the kind of luck we're talking about. This is not the kind of luck I want. I would like to win a lottery or something, but I suppose you have to play a lottery to do that. Anyway, I'm distracting myself too much. It's early morning for me, and I am kind of still mentally waking up. I'll try to not distract myself any further, and I'll carry on. It says, things always seem to work out for the Berishas. They're blessed. At least that's what Zeph, the patriarch, has always told his 3 children. And each of them knows their place in the family. Darden, as the only male heir, must prepare to take over as keeper of the Berisha secrets. Maris's most powerful contribution, much to her dismay, will be to marry strategically, and Nora's job as the youngest is just to stay out of the way. But when things stop going as planned and the family blessing starts looking more like a curse, the Berishas begin to splinter, each hatching their own secret scheme. They didn't get to be one of the richest families in the world without spilling a little blood, but this time it might be their own. So that actually sounds really good. I like these kinds of family dramas. This sounds like a wonderful story. It sounds like it may have shades of The Fall of the House of Usher. It certainly doesn't sound like a ripoff or a retelling of that story, but shades thereof, let's say, and that is a wonderful story. So I think that's a good thing. It's not a terribly long one. Tons of praise from very well-respected authors on the back. I have read the author's other work and have enjoyed, not all of her other work, but some of her other work and have enjoyed it, so I am genuinely quite excited about this one. I often say that one of the benefits of these subscription, mystery box subscription services is that we often are introduced to things that we wouldn't ordinarily pick up, and that's true, and I stand by that. This is one I probably would have picked up anyway, so I'm quite happy to have received it in this package. And then the other book, this one's our paperback. Let me make sure that's the last item. It is. Put that away. This one is called Teenage Girls Can Be Demons by Haley Piper. And I suppose I have friends who are parents of teenage girls, and the title probably sounds accurate to them. I'm going to guess that this is probably a demonic possession type of a story or something like that. I'm not sure. This is another author I'm familiar with. Haven't read a ton of her work, but I'm familiar with. I once again, though, don't know this novel. In this case, I hadn't even heard about the novel. I certainly haven't read it, know nothing about it, other than the title, and that I've read some of the author's prior work. But let's go ahead and read the description here as well. This one says, 13 coming-of-rage stories, the way only Bram Stoker award-winning author Haley Piper can tell them. Wildly inventive, brilliantly imaginative, and completely and utterly enthralling. So this is a collection of short stories. Not quite what I expected, but apparently a themed collection of short stories. We'll read a little bit further into the description and probably get an even better idea. It goes on to say, a vicious group of college upperclassmen prey on the freshman girls in Why We Keep Exploding. Across the world, something is mutating adolescents into bizarre creatures in The Turning. A girl on a night out realizes a bizarre cop is hunting her in The Long Flesh of the Law. And in the acclaimed novella, Benny Rose the Cannibal King, a Halloween prank goes horribly wrong when a murderous ghost steps out of an urban legend and into the real world. These stories take our most difficult years of transformation and twist them into new and terrifying shapes, where the monsters are real and you'll do whatever it takes to get away or to get even. So I do like a good collection of short stories. This is a single author collection rather than an anthology, so if you like the author's work, you should be in for a lot of good stories. Apparently there are 13 in here. I've not read any of the ones the description mentioned on the back. Let me check the table of contents, and I can tell you... You never know with a collection if they're all originals or if some of them are reprints. Apparently it mentioned the acclaimed novella, so at least one, I guess, is a reprint. I'm not sure about the others, but based on the titles, glancing at the table of contents here, I don't think... I'm terrible at remembering titles, but I don't think I have read any of these stories, so I should be in for something quite exciting. This does seem... not explicitly a Halloween book or a Halloween collection. I don't even know if any of the stories really take place at Halloween. But, well, I guess it did mention the one Halloween prank going horribly wrong. So at least one takes place at Halloween. But even putting that aside, the way it's described as coming-of-age stories fits well, I think, within the Halloween season. I think for a lot of people, especially in the past, I think modernity is ruining this for a lot of people, and that's a topic for another day, but especially a couple decades ago, Halloween was a time for rites of passage and for coming of age and for exploration and coming into oneself as a young adult. And so I think this book fits really well with this October Halloween season. I've got a lot of other reading on my list, so I'm not sure if I'm going to get there before Halloween or not, but I am pushing this one up closer to the top of my list because it does seem to fit well with the season, and hopefully I'll get to it either before or shortly after Halloween. Regardless of whether I succeed in that or not, I am looking forward to this, which means I'm actually looking forward to both of these books. They have done well this month, I think, giving me two books that, again, I haven't read them, I can't review them, I can't say if they're good or not, but they sound like they should be right up my alley. And that brings us to our little extra pouch of goodies. Let's get that open. There's always some fun stuff in here. I like to share this with y'all as well. I'll go quickly, though, because I think we're really here to learn about the books. The first item out is our bookmark. It says Pink Horror, Nightworms, October 2025. So I guess Pink Horror is our theme this month. And I guess there are pinks on both of the covers. I'm not sure what Pink Horror means other than the color itself on the covers, but I guess as I read them, perhaps we'll discover. The artwork on the back is a skull with sort of cephalopod or Cthulhu-esque, not actually tentacles, but worms in the place of tentacles coming down from the mouth. So that's quite an interesting artistic design. The next item to come out is a beverage of some sort. This is from the Haunted Cups Coffee Company. It's called Scaramel Apple. Appropriate to the season, I suppose. That reminds me of a story. I was going to a Halloween party a couple years ago, and a friend of mine was tasked with bringing the caramel apples. And so he's got all these wonderful caramel apples, and some of them have nuts, and they've all got the stick in them. But he pulled me aside and he confided in me that he secretly included an onion amongst their numbers. So there was a bunch of caramel apples and one caramel onion, and they were so completely covered with the caramel nobody could tell the difference. And I told him, joke's on you. I like onions. I'm hoping to get that one. Anyway, this is a Haunted Overload Roast, it says. So it's a caramel apple flavored coffee, appropriate to this Halloween season. The next item out of the pouch is the little pamphlet that just tells us what all of these inclusions are. Then we have an autographed book plate by Haley Piper, so that will go to Teenage Girls Can Be Demons. I do always like that we can get some autographed book plates. Turns these into autographed copies. I collect rare and autographed books, so that makes me always happy. Next we have, the autographed book plate to go with the other one. Alma Katsu's Fiend, so I'll tuck that in the cover here. And so both of these are now autographed copies. Even better. But we're still not quite finished. The next item is a sticker in which we have a skeleton reading a book with a cup of... Well, I suppose it looks like a bloody cup, but a beverage of some sort, a red beverage of some sort. With sort of flowers in place of hair and mushrooms growing out of the rib cage. If you like stickers, there are always some nice stickers, some nice artwork on the stickers that they include. The next item out, and yes, the last item out, is another sticker. This one is a female, sort of like a theatrical mask of some sort, at least in the design, with horns and smoking something. I don't know if this is themed to go along with these books specifically. It certainly is pink, so it goes along with the theme in that sense. But it's sort of an artistic design, an interesting one. So, as I said, if you like stickers, there's always one or two. If you like caffeinated beverages, as I certainly do, there's always a coffee or a tea or occasionally a cocoa or something. But most importantly, if you like books, there's always a couple of books, and very frequently, as is the case here, one or both of them is either autographed or comes with an autographed book plate. So I'm always happy with all of these things. I'm particularly happy, I think, with the selections this month. But, alas, that brings us to the end of our time together for this, what would you say, unboxing video. So, I guess I have to bid you happy Halloween, in case this is the last of my videos you managed to see before the big day. And of course, happy reading, and, well, happy day. Have a good day. But most importantly of all, take care and stay scared.